Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, 2027 general election is going to be very interesting. And yes, this year 2023 is going to determine a lot on what will happen in 2027. Those who have interest to vie on a different seat from the one they have as of now have already started their journey. And as we're speaking now, George Aladwa, who is the current Member of Parliament of Makadara, Nairobi County, has already declared his interest to vie for Vihiga governorship. And for those who have been following George Aladwa closely, you will realize that Aladwa is operating mainly within Vihiga County. He has been around. That means he's going to concentrate a lot within Vihiga County. I don't know if he has Raila Amolo Odinga blessing. I don't know if he will be vying on ODM ticket, but this is a man who has always been around Raila Odinga and within ODM party.
But ilienda vile ilienda. Nataka kusema bila kuogopa. 2027 mimi nitapigania kiti ya gavana ya Vihiga. Na mimi mtu asiniulize nimetoka wapi, nimezaliwa wapi. Kijiji yangu ni Isisi, Liaduywa, Izava. Na mimi ni Mkirima Mungomba. Na nimetosha kukuwa gavana wenyu 2027. Na tutapambana. Na tutagarisana. Mungu awabariki.
Now, Vihiga politics, when it comes to the issue of governorship, it has been very tricky, especially for the Maragoli sub-tribe. George Aladwa is a Maragoli. So the question we are asking on this punchline today, will George Aladwa manage to take over the Vihiga governorship from Wilberforce Otichiro? That's what we want to try and answer. But before we go deep into that, just a quick request. For those who are watching and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. To return subscribers, thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you, and back to this discussion. Now, Vihiga County has had two governors. The pioneer governor is Moses Akaranga, who managed to serve for one term. Then he was not re-elected on the second trial. And even when he tried for the third time, he was not again re-elected. And the second governor is Wilberforce Otichiro. He served the first term, and now he's serving his second term on ODM ticket. After that, he will not be seeking for re-election. So, factors to consider. Number one is the issue of sub-tribes within Vihiga County. We have three main tribes: Maragoli, the majority. We have the Banyore, then we have the Tiriki. Three. So, if you are seeking for the governorship, you have to consider where are you coming from. Is it a majority tribe? Number two, the sub-tribe you are coming from, can they vote as a block? Because now politics imekuwa ni hivyo. That's how Vihiga politics has been played. Can they vote as a block? So if you are a Maragoli number one, you are lucky because it is a majority tribe there, sub-tribe. But then the other biggest problem is that will you be one candidate from Maragoli sub-tribe? If you are one, then you are good to go. But if you are more than one, then that means you are dividing the votes. Unless the second candidate, if he is weak. So George Aladwa is a Maragoli. But then, going by the numbers we had in 2022 general election, I think he might not be that much safe. I'm saying this because Wilberforce Otichiro was the first one. He won. But then, Moses Akaranga was number two. That's a Maragoli. And then, George Khaniri, the former senator, was number three. That's a Tiriki. And then, number four, it was the former Sabata member of parliament. Naitwa nani? Anaitwa nani hapo? Alfred Agoi. So Alfred Agoi was running on ANC ticket. He became number four. So Alfred Agoi is a Maragoli. Akaranga is a Maragoli. Already they divided the votes. That's why they are majority, but they could not make it. So the first question George Khaniri should be asking himself, how will he manage to convince the other candidate who will have interest coming from the Maragoli sub-tribe within Vihiga? If he will not manage to convince them, then he should forget. because they are going to divide, and of course, Bunyore will have a candidate, and maybe Tiriki will have a candidate. So the good thing about the Banyore sub-tribe is that they always vote as a block. And they will have one candidate. They don't produce more than one. The reason is that if they produce two candidates, then the Maragol sub-tribe itawashinda, because they are the majority. So that is one of the secrets from the Banyore. They know their weakness. And because they have discovered their weakness, their strength is voting as a block. So if George Aladwa will be running, he should consider that as number one. But again, Aladwa can win Vihiga governorship if he has the blessing of Raila Amolo Odinga and if he will be vying on ODM ticket. I'm saying this because if that is the way to go, most of the Banyore, they normally listen to Raila Odinga. So if Raila will come with Aladwa, he will dig into the Maragoli sub-tribe votes, and then it will be easy also to dig into the Banyore votes. Then collect other votes here and there, and they can become. That means you need to have a running mate maybe from the Banyore side, or a Tiriki. But then the issue will be that, what about the former speaker, Kenneth Marende? Because Marende wanted to vie in 2022. But Raila Odinga prevailed upon him so that they are not spoiling the votes for Otichiro. Because if they were going to have two candidates, then it was going to be very easy for Akaranga to get a second chance. So if they will negotiate, and as of now, I know, Marende is in ODM as of now. He's in Azimio. So if Raila has allowed Aladwa to go into Vihiga, and then he prevailed upon the Banyore, so that they don't have a candidate, Aladwa will sail through. But if Banyore will have another candidate who will be vying, but then that candidate will not be vying on ODM ticket, Aladwa is still lucky, because those votes are going to be divided. Simple as that. So he has to ask himself serious questions. Because now, being a Maragoli, it has become a very big problem because of the greediness, competing interest within the Maragoli sub-tribe. It has made them always to lose right people. I can tell you, Otichiro never performed better properly in his first time in office. There was a lot of infight. He never delivered. Vihiga is literally back. But because of the division and the competing interest within Maragolis, they lost to have someone like Akaranga, who seemingly was better than Otichiro. They lost. The reason was that this other sub-tribe is voting as a block. Then Maragolis wanakuja na two candidates who are serious. Number 3, Aladwa should consider the Mudavadi influence in Vihiga. The truth is that Mudavadi has lost the grip of Vihiga politics because he never takes serious consideration on a strong candidate. For example, I still ask myself a question here. How did Mudavadi conclude to support Alfred Agoi for Vihiga governorship when Akaranga was there? A man who had a strong support. Why didn't he consider to bring Akaranga to ANC party? Then ask Agoi maybe to go for the senator or just vie as a member of parliament. Then Akaranga could have delivered the ticket to ANC. So those kind of infight, the showdown between Mudavadi and other leaders, Mudavadi has forgotten that he is senior. So he should consider negotiating with these other players down here. Resolve your issues with the Akaranga, then have a strong candidate. So the issue is that if Mudavadi will sit down with Akaranga, na sijui Akaranga atakuwa na miaka ngapi in 2027, surely he will be too much old. But he has the people. If he will be on ballot, then Mudavadi consider to negotiate with him and then come up with one candidate akuwe ni huyo ndiye amesimama. Then Agoi is not running. And he consider on how to work with the Tirikis. Then he can also give George Aladwa a hard time in Vihiga County. So they have to consider all this. But the truth is that Mudavadi does not control Vihiga politics. Because he lost the senator. Now we have Godfrey Osoti. Osoti is coming from Bunyore. Governor Bunyore. And all are on ODM ticket. The only thing he managed to get was a woman rep. And it was through struggle, sweat. She was almost losing to the DAP candidate. So all of this you put together, I think Aladwa should call a meeting for himself. Ajiulize maswali yeye peke yake tu. Is he ready to go into the Vihiga politics? Because this politics is pata potea. Vihiga is different. At least for Makadara, he is safe. But for Vihiga, it's try and error. And then he should be asking himself, where will be George Khaniri? Because in the last election, Khaniri was vying on which ticket? Hii chama ya anko yake. Anko yaka huyu nani anaitwa nani? Jirongo. Hiyo ndio chama alikuwa anakimbia nayo. So you should be asking, where will be George Khaniri? Considering that Khaniri has been around in Vihiga for quite some good time. And he was re-elected twice as a senator. So all this you put together, for me, I still believe that Vihiga politics, it is still slippery. You cannot tell as of now who can become the governor. At least for Simba Arati, you know, he was vibrant, he had the people, but Aladwa need to come and struggle. Because you are starting to unite Luyas, but in an area whereby we have a prime cabinet secretary in the current government. So starting from there, and then other factors of Akina, George Khaniri and other things. If he manage that, he become the governor. But this is trial and error. He's risking to come to Vihiga politics.